Greetings, family. This is your brother in the kingdom, Emmanuel Destiny. Welcome to yet another valuable episode under the Forex Beginner series. Today, of course, we're talking about the Tokyo session, what to trade, which pairs are best, and when to find momentum in the Tokyo session. And of course, the following episodes for this week will be London session, New York session, of course, guys. I'm going to be plugging you with, the relevant information for you as a trader to trade. And of course, this video is also relevant to intermediate traders as well, even advanced traders. So you might really get something out of this. Before we can actually go to the actual video, I just have something to tell you about our masterclass in this video. Then, of course, we'll be going straight into the content. Greetings, family. We are going to be hosting a 5-day masterclass for everybody that wants to learn how to trade indexes, forex, and of course with different styles such as news trading and fundamentals and understanding the market in depth. This is the class that's made for you, whoever you are, wherever you are at. I'll be teaching you principles and skills and methods that I've learned throughout my 6 years of trading in this industry, guys. And by the way, it's going to be life-changing. Of course, this also includes our ecosystem, guys. You have seen it everywhere. You have seen testimonials. You have seen sniper entries with the system. So after teaching you for the 5 days, we're going to put you in our lifetime support group where we'll also share setups, where we'll also be hosting trainings each and every month just to make sure that we're sharpening you each and every time until you are a nice, profitable trader. And of course, guys, if you're really interested in this, kindly do WhatsApp us, Telegram, or DM us. And of course, we can tell you all the full details. And of course, there's a fee to it, but an affordable one. As you guys know, the original price, but now we are bringing it a bit lower so that everybody who wants to take their trading to the next level may be part of this. Don't miss it, guys. Don't miss it. It's going to be starting next month, guys. Do not miss this. Everybody is welcome from all over the world. This is your brother in the kingdom, and I hope this message meets you well. Okay, family. So now we want to talk about when can you trade the Forex, or rather, when can you trade Forex in the Tokyo session, right? When can you foreign exchange in the Tokyo session? So some of you guys, I'm just going to stick to the South African time. As I said, you can just search exactly what time are the trading session opening in your local time. Write it down. There are various websites that offer them in your local time. So make sure you do that so that you can be on the same page. Right. So for traders that are living in South Africa, the trading day begins on Sunday night at 12 midnight. Okay. However, liquidity does not really show up until the Tokyo session gets to open. Of course, the opening of the Tokyo session, it's 2 a.m. GMT +2. That means South African time, Israel time. That's the time right there. Marks the start of the currency trading in Asia. Okay, you can take note that the Tokyo session sometimes is referred to as the Asian session. I believe it's much easier to just cover the whole, because it's not only taking place because of Tokyo. There are other capitals like Singapore and Hong Kong that are quite relevant to it. And of course, why is this session quite important? And as you said, as you had me in the intro, only 3 sessions that we'll be covering: Tokyo and of course New York and London. So we're not going to be covering Sydney because it actually sometimes falls under the Tokyo session. So one thing worth noting about Japan is the third largest, right, Forex center when it comes into trading. And of course, it's not surprisingly that the yen, it is the most traded, or one of the most traded currencies, and takes about 16% of all Forex transactions. So 16%, that's a big percentage, guys. Overall, 20% of Forex trading volume takes place during the Asian session. Okay, so some of you who are in the States, maybe this is local times or rather day times, you might actually jump into trading this. So stick around, guys, as you're watching. So it's not also just coming from Tokyo, as I was saying. There are major financial centers in Asia, like Singapore and Hong Kong. Now we want to talk about peep movements that take place, right, within this session or this Asia session. And it's very much important that we can highlight the highest thereof so that you guys can take advantage of that highest. So as we can see, there are a few pairs that I've listed there. And of course, this according to database, according to research. It was not done by me, please. It was just done by another institution, and I was just able to bring that information to you guys. As we know, we do research in order to be relevant to you when we administer these videos. Okay, so this major pairs, we have the Euro USD, doesn't move as much, 56 pips. Okay, we have GDP USD in the Tokyo session, 54 pips. With USD JPY, it's the lowest, as you can see, 30 pips. And then we have AUD USD, 65, with NZD USD, 58, USD CAD, 39, USD Chef, that's 40, USD JPY, that's 57, GDP US JPY, that's 72. Okay, AUD JPY is 65, and of course GDP, Euro GDP, that's 23. So we can actually see that the highest here, let me just mark it for you guys. We can definitely see that the highest for us here is GDP USD as well as AUD USD. So what am I telling you? What am I implying? You might want to find yourself trading GDP USD during Tokyo session and also AUD USD. And I'll show you why in a few minutes, why you should also trade these pairs, due to a lot takes place right during this Tokyo session, but we're going to talk about it right now. So here are some key characteristics that you should know about the Tokyo session. Actually isn't only limited to the Japanese shores. Tons of forex transactions also to take place, as we said, in other like Hong Kong, Sydney, and of course Singapore and Sydney. That's why we're not covering the Sydney session, because it's mostly overlapped by the Tokyo right there. So the main market participants during the Tokyo session are commercial companies, as we said, with interbank markets that are trading. So these commercial companies or commercial brokers, exporters, as well as central banks are the ones that are trading. The Japanese or Japan's economy is heavily export dependent. As you know, most of the Asia company, or rather, economy, it's mostly export dependent. And of course, China also is a major trade player, and the other transactions that takes place daily. Of course, when it comes to liquidity can be very thin. There are some times when trading this period, it will be like a fishing, you might wait for a while, but a move can just come into like that. So it may require a bit of patience, but you will see moves taking place. And I'll let you know right now in a few minutes why. And of course, it is because it is more likely that you will see stronger moves in the Asia Pacific currency pairs like your AUD USD, as I was talking, guys, the NZD USD, as opposed to the 9 Pacific pairs like GDP USD. And of course, during those times of the thin liquidity, most pairs may stick within a range, and of course, they will literally just play around. Those of you who don't know, we'll talk about it when we talk about the intraday. What is ranging markets, right? So you'll see most ranging markets. But again, when a market breaks out of a ranging market, you know for sure things are about to happen right there. So this provides opportunities for a short-term trader, or what we call intraday trader, right? Breakout trades are most likely you will find them in the Tokyo session. So if you trade breakout and all of that, Tokyo session is your session. Most of the actions, of course, take place in the early session when economic data is released. And what we mean by that, moves in the Tokyo session could be set tone for the rest of the day. Traders in the latter sessions, we will eventually, or most of the time, check exactly what really happened, because it gives us a more of a prediction of how the London or the New York session may take place. And of course, why should you trade in the Tokyo session? This is why I made a lot of money back then when I was trading. A lot of news. I'll wake up early in my time and I'll just be on the markets trading. It's because of this Since the Tokyo session is when news from Australia, New Zealand, and Japan come out, this is a good opportunity to trade news events. And of course, in the masterclass, guys, I'll be teaching you how to trade news events such as NFP, NZD, USD, all of those RBN, NZD, all of those news that move. I'll be teaching you everything that I know through 6 years of experience. So you must tune in, you must register, book right now, because next month we're starting family. So make sure that you watch that video, right? And of course, also there could be more movement in the yen pairs, as a lot of yen is changing hands among the Japanese companies as they're conducting business. Take note that China is also an economic superpower. So whenever news comes out from China, it tends to, of course, create volatile moves. And of course, we have Australia and Japan relying heavily on the Japanese demand. So we could see greater moves on GDP, AUD, JPY, and of course, as well in the Japanese data when it comes in. So as I said, AUD, JP1 and GDP, JPY are your pairs to trade within the Tokyo session. I hope you guys understand that. I hope you guys get it. I hope you guys also got so much value from this video, family. And you're going to be subscribing to our channel, because we are your #1 educational channel out there. No one plugs you with this information. They feel like, it's too just little. But when we go back to the basics, there's power, because we relaying the foundation. So when you go up, it's as smooth as you are a steady house. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed, guys. See you on the next episode. We're going to be talking about the London session. God bless.